Yeah.
I've been an entrepreneur for 4 years now, and it's really this year when I started thinking that I'm an entrepreneur. It's like a magic in the air. You have that energy and that drive and that urgency that you meet people, and any moment you could close a deal, any moment you could start a new company, any moment you could meet someone who becomes a very strong network partner. In entrepreneurship today, in our age, I don't really believe in these brackets. So I said, I have only one answer for this target demography: is young at heart.
This is Hospitality Huddles, bringing you the best conversations in hotel, food and beverage.
Manage, lead, coach, repeat.
Every time I think of hospitality, I think of friendship. Hospitality allows you to be you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's issue of Hospitality Huddles. I'm really excited this week because we're joined by Judit Toth, who is a remarkable lady who's built her own hotel company. So Judith, thank you for coming on the show. Really pleased to be here and speaking to you today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. So for those people who might not have known you, I saw you on LinkedIn. I saw some of your posts on LinkedIn. Could you just tell us where in the world you're coming from today, and maybe a little bit of background about how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am based in Dubai and originally from Hungary, but I've been living in Dubai and working here in the past 13 years. So I consider myself more home here than back in Europe.
Yeah.
In terms of my background, I came from sales. Initially, I've been in wellness and spa and membership sales and all of these kind of things that were like around 15 years ago, just started to trend in Europe and here as well. And then I ended up in Dubai working with Fitness First at the beginning. So I was really into wellness, fitness, membership, sales, and all of these things. And then from there, I just started to look towards hospitality. I started working with Jumeirah Group, which is like a homegrown, local five-star brand from Dubai, and it's a brilliant, beautiful hotel chain. And I worked there, and I fall in love with hospitality even more. And then during this time period, I decided to pursue my MBA in hospitality management. And so I studied through my work experience and through my MBA. I just ended up to a point where I felt like this is my calling and I really wanted to create my own hotel brand. That was basically the dream. This is many years ago. So then I worked in between with real estate, with education, with different segments, but mainly focused around hospitality and lifestyle. And so during COVID was the time when I saw an opportunity. And I thought this is the time, like need to grab this opportunity right now because it is not often that happens. You're able to create something large like this. So I pitched for a concept. I created the brand and at the same time created the hotel management company, obviously to run the brand. And my pitch was successful. And then so we started building the brand. And once we created the brand, we moved forward with the pre-opening. So the hotel property that we have was already built. So the building was ready to be actually branded and opened as a hotel. So the pre-opening was chaotic and crazy and everything that you can imagine.
As they always
and
are,
then
right?
so yeah, which I got to know through this experience. I haven't done pre-opening before. I haven't been really in the hotel side of the business. Like in my past experience, I always worked in the wellness and the sales and the membership side of the building. For the business, but never in the proper pre-opening where you have A to Z, every single department you have to establish, hire the team, get your policies, your SOPs ready, and really to execute the guest experience. At the same time, make it work in the background financially. So that was quite an experience. And we also created one restaurant brand, which was another thing that I haven't done before. I mean, historically, I worked in restaurants and bars, and I've been a hostess during my university years and during summer jobs. So kind of had an idea of the business when it comes to F&B, but never run my own. So that was, the big picture of establishing a hotel brand, doing a pre-opening and getting everything ready. You have this smaller thing, which is a restaurant brand, and you have to create your own restaurant, which is might be smaller than the overall hotel, but more difficult than anything else. So I got to learn that as well, that F&B is not exactly as easy as it seems from outside. And so went through on all of this journey and launched the brand, and we opened in 2022 January, and then ever since we are going.
Yeah, fantastic. There's so many things to pick out there. The bit at the start where it's talking about Dubai being your home. I lived in Dubai for 5 years as well, and I think I worked next door to a Fitness First actually in Emirates Hills in the Lakes Club. So we used to know the team there very, very well. I worked in Reform Social and Grill, but there's something about Dubai, isn't there, that when you go there, it has this hook that manages to just suck you in and make you feel very at home very quickly, isn't it? For some people who might not have been to Dubai or had the opportunity to live in Dubai, what makes Dubai so special? Because outside of the country, you hear about it all the time, and I'm not sure you really know the magic until you've been there and experienced it.
Yeah, I think you need to be here to experience it, to really feel it, because what you see from outside on social media is just, it's a great marketing, and it's beautiful and it's fun, and it's really a lot of going out and everybody's enjoying their life, which is very true. But then once you are here, you have, if you are an entrepreneur or if you are really about to build your career, it's in the air. It's like a magic in the air. You have that energy and that drive and that urgency that you meet people, and any moment you could close a deal, any moment you could start a new company, any moment you could meet someone who becomes a very strong network partner for you. So that's really true. So when somebody is here, not as a tourist, but as from a business perspective, literally anywhere you go, it could be a coffee shop, it could be a hotel lobby, it could be the gym, the beach, and the office, like you could just bump into your next business partner. You could just like so many like-minded people from so many walks of life. So I think what really makes it unique is that you have multiple age groups and backgrounds, whether it's an investor, a startup founder, a corporate professional. So you have all of these different people around you, but you do connect with many of them. So it's not just with the startups, it's not just the corporate ladder that you can build a beautiful career. So it's a mix of a lot of things in a small place, and it's all accessible. So if somebody is really truly an entrepreneur and has serious goals and willing to put the work in it, that is really possible to create something unique here and build your own business, your brand, your company, whatever is your dream. I think that's what sets Dubai apart from the rest of the world. You have access to these people. So you would have you would walk into a coffee shop where you have a table with a founder, with an employee, with an investor, and all together working towards the same goal. So that direct connection and that kind of a network that you can establish here is unique to Dubai. I don't see the same in Europe or anywhere else in the world.
No, for sure. My big takeaway, especially moving back to the UK, was always around the positivity to go bigger and better. There's never a looking back in Dubai. There's always, what do we do next? Even when they build the biggest tower in the world, they're looking at how they build the next biggest tower in the world. And I think that whole mentality, still now, 5 years on from when I left, really drives what I do every day in terms of that real kind of proactivity of what's next, the strategy of the next kind of 6 to 12 months, rather than dwelling on what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years or even closer. It's a really different mentality, isn't it? It's it really is phenomenal.
It's very, very forward looking. No matter what is the situation, you're always looking forward. You don't look backwards. You don't get stuck in the moment. I think, as you mentioned, like they're building Burj Khalifa, then they want to build a bigger one. There is really two ways, I think, here in Dubai. Either you do something great, and then you get inspired by that to create even something bigger or better, and you know you can because you just done something great. Or if you had a failure, then you're not going to stop there, because this is the spirit, right? We're not going to stop. We take it as a learning curve, and then let's do something different or bigger, but to prove ourselves. So that mentality is what makes Dubai, really.
For sure. It's a great lesson to everyone listening. And it kind of feeds in nicely into talking about you and the hotel and the restaurant and the F&B brands. there's probably many people listening to this right now thinking, I would love to own my own hotel. I would love to create my own hotel brand. I would love to open my own brand with me in control, my vision. How do you go from working in a hotel environment and working as an employee to going to being a founder and building your own brand? Because it's quite a shift that I'm sure a lot of people are probably quite envious about.
I think it is. It's definitely a big shift, and I think that shift doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I've been an entrepreneur for 4 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really this year when I started thinking that I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's strange. I'm sure it's different for everyone, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. You just like shifted your mindset, and now you are a founder and entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You got your trade license, and now you are an entrepreneur. It takes time for you to adjust, to overcome the challenges, to really understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, and really feel that you own it. So that takes years, I think. And how to start, the best way to start, how I started, that I had a full-time job. So working on the evenings, working on the weekends, planning what I want to plan for many years, really dreaming about it, believing in it, writing it down, telling it to your friends and family, and getting all that encouragement. Once you share this with your very close circle, it becomes real, because you're talking about it, that it's real, even before you start building a business. I mean, obviously, I don't believe in sharing it with everyone and announcing your next steps and ideas. Of course not. But when you have a good circle of close friends and family, that's very important to kind of start talking about your vision, and then get that mirror effect and that feedback that this is almost like real now. So that's number one to me. It started for me many years ago. So that procedure starts years in advance. Then number two is like while you are still working and you're able to spend your free time working out your plan. So that's great to have this dream that we love and we're passionate about, but then how does it look like on paper? How do you plan to execute it? And just be prepared. Like readiness and preparation is super important, because you can never know when the right opportunity will come, and when the investor will come, the location, the land, the shop, whatever you're looking at. It's unpredictable. It's not like, okay, next year I'm gonna start it. What if 3 months earlier there will be an opportunity, or 2 years later? So you need to be ready in advance and ready in any moment, because it could take off anytime. So readiness is very important, and be able to be spontaneous while you have a solid plan and a blueprint and your really good strategy. If you cannot be flexible and spontaneous at the same time, then you're not going to be in alignment. So I think building it up in the right way while you are still having a project or working full time, so you have that security, that time, and the opportunity to look at it from outside and from distance a little bit. And once the opportunity comes, then you have to be ready to work 24/7 for a few years at least. Ready to take ownership of anything and everything. Even if you have a team, even if you have people responsible for certain things, it's still at the end of the day, it's your responsibility alone, because you are now an owner or an entrepreneur. So it's not a corporate group exercise where we have team members to rely on. It's everything is you, even if you have a good team. So that is something that every entrepreneur has to go through and learn and accept. You can't get upset if things don't go in your way, if somebody messed something up. You just have to step in and you have to fix it. So it's a very different dynamic from working in a team or being an employee or working in corporate. So, and it's tough in a sense that when you're facing with these kind of realities, at the end of the day, you have to understand you must change your view. You are an owner, an entrepreneur now. Nobody will come to save you or teach you, or so when you have those challenges or you face with all of those obstacles, you have to be quick to learn it, how to fix it, or find the right person who will help you. But it's literally, you have to be very resourceful to manage these situations. And this is happening in the first couple of years, 2 to 3 years, in my experience at least.
Yeah, I can go with that experience. I think that was one of the things when I left a job to do Auden, was that whole bit of no one's coming to help you, no one's doing organizing a one-to-one to sit down and go through your task list and give advice. You're having to do everything and you're having to make decisions. And I think, a couple of things in there that you talked about. My lesson from kind of running my own business is that discipline of keeping yourself on the plan. It's that discipline of knowing where you want to be so that you have that drive to get to that point. Because, as I said, no one's going to not sign the holiday form off when you're making the decision, and no one's going to sign off, days off and things like that. So I think it's really important. The other thing that really stuck out, and it's a great word to use, is spontaneity. I guess no opportunity presents itself at the perfect time, does it? And I think that real message around being agile, being confident in the plan that you've developed, so that when the right time comes, early or late, if it's early, you can jump on it. If it's late, you're not rushing to get the wrong opportunity just because it's the right time. I think is really key to having a success long term, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's very good summary.
Yeah. So can you tell people a little bit more about your baby, Inc Hotel? Tell everyone a little bit more about it, what it is, size of keys, kind of the company vision, and then I have a few more questions after that to go into in the hotel.
Sure. So Inc Hotel is basically a boutique in terms of scale. Boutique in this part of the world, it's 60 keys. Obviously, when you look at Europe, the boutique means 20 keys, 30 keys, something like that. Here, we consider up till the 100. So below 100 rooms, we would say boutique as well, towards lifestyle segment. So we have one all-day dining restaurant as well, and a rooftop lounge. Small swimming pool on the rooftop, a pop-up gym, and that's pretty much it. So it's a little diamond for us. So Inc Hotel is basically for everyone who is young at heart.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, when I started, when we launched the brand and I started attending events and meeting a lot of people, I started to get these typical questions. What is your target demographic? Who's your target audience? And I said, I don't have this mindset of age groups and brackets and spending power. And to me, this is old.
Yeah.
I can't think between these restrictions, It's very large companies or industry players would use this because obviously in their scale they have to use some kind of guidelines or follow some kind of a structure. But in entrepreneurship today, in our age, I don't really believe in these brackets. So I said I have only one answer for this target demography: is young at heart.
Yeah,
we want everyone who is able to be young at heart, come here, enjoy, connect with each other, connect with the team. You can bring your dogs. We are pet friendly. We welcome digital nomads. We welcome families and couples who want to explore Dubai. We welcome a lot of business travelers who want something more, who want something exciting, something where they can have a nice food, nice drink, good music while they are on business trip. So this was the kind of positioning and idea of the brand. We're very focused on sustainability. It's even before it became so trendy, for us it was important. So luckily we share this vision with the owner of the asset. So the building was built in a way that it has solar panels on the rooftop.
Fantastic.
It has different mechanisms and different, technology implementations that enable us to be sustainable. But in terms of operational sustainability, we also implemented, no plastic. We serve the water in glass bottles. We use organic and ethically sourced tea. We collaborate with the local startup for, buying the coffee beans from them. So every little thing where we had opportunity to be sustainable, we implemented it. And these things are just very easy. Like any restaurant, coffee shop, hotel can do it anywhere in the world. It doesn't require investment. It just requires to go out, search for these partners and work out these partnerships that leads towards sustainability.
Yeah.
And of course, empowerment is the other one that is important for us. So we train the team. We have standard operation procedures. We have policies. We run a business, but we let everyone be who they are because we are confident we are selecting the right personalities so they can make decisions. They can talk to the guests formally, informally, whatever way they want. So we don't train the team for attitude or for personality traits.
Yeah.
Like we let the personalities shine, and everybody needs to have ownership, accountability, and feel like yes, they are in charge with their own role, with their own job, instead of micromanaging everyone, or instead of looking at very strict guidelines or training principles that you would see in franchise brands or larger brands normally.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much the vibe of Inc.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And I think what people shouldn't underestimate is that power of ownership in that part of the world as well, is a real rarity sometimes, isn't it? About how you can let the team just flow, because a lot of the people who are working in Dubai, Middle East, maybe come from countries that don't have that level of hospitality class, hotel class system, so they've not necessarily experienced it before. And when those people come, there's a lot of effort in terms of training and showing them what the standard is, but then allowing them to let their personalities and the people inside them come out is a real rarity from what I used to find. So it's definitely some of the ones that kind of give it the edge, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And this to be honest, I think it only works if it's executed by being part of the team. So I don't think we could achieve this if I was not the GM of the hotel. If I would be a founder sitting outside of the operation, trying to make this operation work as an entrepreneur or founder from outside, I don't think it would have worked. Yeah. But because I intentionally put myself into the middle of all this as a founder, I'm going to be the GM. So I'm going to run the pre-opening. I'm going to do the opening. I'm going to be working day to day in this operation as a GM, at least for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
This is the way to make it in this scale, because they understood, the team who worked with me, they understood of what is the focus point and how do we execute these brand pillars or promises that this brand is about. So if we would have an issue or something goes wrong, then I would take that time to explain why is this not okay, what do we need to do, how do we change it next time. So it's not just like correcting mistakes quickly or giving hard time to somebody if they are making a mistake. It's literally like how you would raise a kid. You sit down, you explain what is right, what is wrong, why are we not doing this way, how we supposed to be doing. And it is a lot of talking, a lot of explaining, a lot of connecting and trying to make this between all the team members very obvious. And when you have this kind of attention, when you have the time to do this, they grow into this culture. Then after a certain time, there is no more, like, you don't have to explain anything. And then after some time, you just say, what do you think we should do now? And then you keep on moving forward, and they teach this to the newcomers and the other colleagues. So this is how you instill a culture. This is how you kind of make it sense to it. And then once I spent so many days and months and years and hours with these team members, just being myself, they let them be themselves. Let's connect. Let's have trust. Let's understand how we run together as a one team. From there, you can let them be themselves and let them run the business and let them, make a call and decision on certain situations, because we are on the same page. We are all living and breathing the same culture.
For sure. It's fantastic. And you talked at the start about how your thinking of the guest is different to the industry. I guess the industry has got into this terrible habit of doing it the same way for so long. What other bits did you look at and think that just needs a little bit of a shake up of what's always been done, or we can do it a little bit different, that you've applied to the hotel? Because I think looking at the guest in that way is a great example of one of those ways.
Yeah, I think I've done everything completely differently as it is done in the industry, because luckily I don't come from the industry.
Yeah.
So I come from a hospitality industry in certain ways when it comes to wellness, and I worked in hotels, but I never really worked in front office, rooms department, F&B, or I didn't spend years of working in service or management of these operational departments. So to me, everything that I would look at it with my common sense and an entrepreneurial mindset, rather than structures of what's being done in other hotels or what I experience in other hotels. Because the good thing is that I did not experience anything in other hotels.
Yeah.
So obviously this had a bit of a, tensions in times when I had to, work this out with some department heads and managers, and they are like, this is no way we can do it this way. Nobody's doing this way. It is not how I've done in the past 10, 15 years in the other hotels. So I said, guys, luckily that this is our brand, so we decide how we do it.
Yeah.
We don't have to follow what other brands do. So it took a little time at the beginning to take everybody's mindset out of what's been done before in their experience. And so everything, especially I think the most important is IT. So all of our systems, our reservation systems, our channel manager, property management system, everything was, I researched, I tried it, I tested it, I changed a couple of times certain softwares and solutions. So IT was very important part. What softwares we use, how user-friendly it is, how intelligent it is, how good reporting I can get, what do I need to see every day from a revenue side, from the reservations, like what is the real important information here and industry data that will help me to be ahead commercially, especially when it comes to revenue management. In terms of procedures, SOPs, how we greet the guests, how we run the housekeeping, I have a brilliant team, great people who helped, shaping this in a way that it's best for the guest. Like I would just consider myself as a guest and go through the journey and understand if I like it or not. So it's not a rocket science, In terms of F&B was probably the most challenging department for us because I haven't managed a restaurant before. So at the beginning, we had a consultant from F&B side who was like a celebrity chef, actually. So he helped us to create the menu, to orchestrate this whole menu, the ingredients, the testing, the cooking, the food photography, like to create like great experience, a great product. But still in the first year, it wasn't very successful financially. So it's very difficult to run an all-day dining in a hotel and make it profitable because that's like kind of a problem child for everyone.
Yeah.
But then again, looking outside of the box, offering specialty coffee in a buffet breakfast package, doing certain things that you would never see in a hotel, not even in a 5-star. So we said, okay, let's do it. Maybe they like this coffee and buy an extra 1 or 2 coffee per day because it was so great in the morning. And it worked, and they do buy it. So basically, a little bit of investment, a little bit of untraditional ways of running an F&B, but that created more revenue. And then, of course, looking at the cost structure, looking at the ingredients, the food cost, and all of this, engineering until the point where you don't compromise on the quality, but at least it's more feasible. So in second year, we resulted with a great, profitability department-wise. So that was the last thing that needed to click, the last puzzle piece. But we managed to do it in the second year, so all was great.
Yeah, and there's not many people can say that. I usually used to spend a lot of time on the ground floor in Media One, and I thought, in terms of like all day dining kind of communal spaces, they got it very well. But I think one of the things you touched on there is really like looking at quality, looking at the breakfast a little bit differently, looking at how that can set the tone for the day. And I commented on a LinkedIn post this morning actually, and it was a guy talking about bad coffee in restaurants, and I think it's it always annoys me when you get an espresso at the end of the meal and it's just bad coffee, it's burnt, the crema's not there. You think you've done this whole meal that's so great, and then this last bit, probably the last thing that the guest will ever taste in your restaurant before they come back again, isn't great. It's one of the things that people forget a little bit when it comes to that, and I think your focus on quality, for me, the modern guest is going to see that and they're going to value that versus some of the big branded breakfasts that are out there that are struggling to be profitable because of allocations and things like that. And I think that focus on quality and being different really is what's going to set it apart. And I think that's where boutique hotels, especially now worldwide, are getting a real resurgence of people wanting to choose them over brands because of this attention to detail in the experience. Would you say that was fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that you never opened a hotel before, you hadn't worked operations. So it takes some serious courage to dive straight in and open a hotel. What would you say were kind of some of the biggest learnings that you took away from the whole process?
Oh, there was many. Like I
Yeah.
would say, like every single department, you can break it down into each department, and there was like a million learnings in each
Yeah.
one. I think definitely looking at if you start something that you haven't done before,
Mm,
you need extreme passion and dedication
mm,
because you're not only doing something that is already hard on its own, but you're doing something that it's even harder for you because you haven't done it as an experience. So it's
mm,
good to have people around you who have experience in those areas from before, and also have the equally the passion and the motivation, because pre-opening is, whoever has done it, they know it very well. That's not an easy one. That's like 24/7, day and night for many
yeah.
months. You don't sleep, you don't rest, you don't even have an opportunity to see the situation from outside because you don't even
Mm,
have a day off. Even though you have, but you still go in
yeah.
and do your thing on
Yeah.
your day
Yeah.
off. So I think the what I've learned is I learned a lot of technicalities, because let's remember that besides the operation and the guests, we are taking over an entire building.
Mm,
So it's not a coffee shop, it's an entire building, it's 60 rooms, it's a restaurant, it's a rooftop bar, it's a swimming pool, basement parking, technicalities, engineering room, central kitchen. Like there is so much going on in the building technically. So I've learned a lot about engineering, about health and safety, about all of these
mm,
regulations. Luckily, obviously, I had people who were looking after this, but still, as a GM, you have to be involved, you have to learn it, you have to
absolutely.
know it. So one major part was definitely technicalities of how to handle and manage a building from the building management
Mm,
perspective. Um, the next one was, I think, how to really create profit, because at the beginning you all get excited of how much revenue we created and we sold the rooms and our occupancy is good and the restaurant is going well. Like, so you get excited and your team gets excited about this revenues, because clearly, obviously, the team, or not every team member, is involved with the P&L and
yeah.
L and the profitability. So some side of this is just that, oh, we made a great revenue today, oh, we hit our target, and everybody's celebrating. But then the bottom line,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that that's going to be great as well. So learning really where to focus on the P&L, where you're looking at your real incomes and expenses and your profitability,
Mm,
and what percentage and rate you want to grow and what is healthy. And then you compare all of this to your ComStat and your STR reports. And so there is a lot of data and intelligence and knowledge in the numbers that immediately shows the condition or the healthiness of the
mm,
business. I think that was another major learning for me in the past years, which by now I feel much more confident, because obviously I speak now exactly the same language as investors and owners,
yeah.
which I would say 3 years ago I was just trying to grasp and understand how this P&L looking like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So financial and the business side super important, of course, to learn. I mean, I wouldn't highlight something else from another department or another particular example, but overall, like just to listen to my gut feeling. I usually I'm good at listening to what I feel is the right thing, and what I want to push through. But you always have people around you. You always have other
Mm,
decision makers. There are certain things that by contract you have to jointly make as a decision. So obviously you can't just run always on your own
yeah.
ideas, but and fight for it, you know. But to really don't let anybody bring you
Yeah.
off track or take your attention away, even if they have convincing numbers or whatever it is. Like,
Mm,
just really stick to your own gut feeling and knowledge and belief in certain
yeah.
things and solutions. So that's very important for an entrepreneur.
Yeah, for sure. There's some great ones in there. And if we look at the guest, how do you think the guest is changing today versus just as we came out of COVID, before COVID even? Um, it feels like we're starting to see a real shift in expectations from guests, and what they value to be very different. Are you seeing the same thing there, or because they're young at heart, everyone's in a different mindset anyway?
Yes, I think it's the simplest answer for this is if everybody look into their own life. Whatever you changed in your own life, however your expectations, your lifestyle, your philosophy about things have changed since COVID, that's your guest is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I don't like to take out the guest as like there are people there and then we are different. Like no, the guest is exactly the same as you or me. So whatever you feel like your life changed and what's important to you and how patient you are when you go to check in or how you like your food or what is your expectation is the answer for that. So everybody can look into themselves and answer this question better than me.
Yeah.
So really this is what changed. So the lifestyle, the expectation, how we live, how time is important more than before.
Yeah.
How time is valuable, your health, your genuine connections, your mood. That's it. Your lifestyle is exactly how the guest lifestyle is. Whatever the guest wants or you want is pretty much a similar thing since COVID.
Yeah, that's a really great answer. And what are some of the trends that you're keeping your eyes on right now? What are some of the things that you're maybe preparing for, getting ready to optimize, or just think might come along in the next couple of years?
Well, in this part of the world, as you know, in Dubai, we have already quite a lot of hotels and apartments and holiday homes and restaurants and you name it. Like this is probably the fastest growing place in the planet. But we are looking at other areas. Of course, there is different Emirates or even in the GCC, different places that is about set to grow. So I think moving forward, what works is that we are targeting a new generation. So let's say you are building a project, it will take you 2 years, and it's going to be an opening phase, and then it's going to stabilize, let's say, from now to the next 5 years. By the time you reach 2030, again, 5 years past, your target audience or your demography is different than today or 5 years ago, right? So planning the guest experience, the amenities, the facilities, the service, the quality of the items that you offer, the quality of the food or the drinks or the lifestyle and wellness facilities you offer. Like think of it that you are planning and launching it for people 5 to 10 years from now. So whoever right now is a 10-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid, he will use that.
Yeah.
So if you plan it based on your own age group and demography and experience and importance, it's not necessarily going to work in 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah.
Because the new generation is actually going to be your guest and using your facilities. And they might not exactly think the way we think or people older than us. So I think looking at, I don't really believe in looking at just user experience and technical things and planning and data and numbers. No, look at human side.
Yeah.
Look at the human side of what people want. And this new generation, they want connection more than any other generation because they don't have. The only thing they don't have is that. They have the phones and they have online and social media and all of this. But like the real connection, they have a hard time to get that. So if you are able to do that, at least open the door to that as an option. That is something I think in the future could be interesting.
Yeah, it's a really valuable asset, isn't it? We just spent the weekend in Bulgaria, and we were with another family from San Diego, and we decided that we were going to do the whole holiday on ChatGPT just to see how good it was. And actually, what we found as we were doing the process, and we recorded some of it, and we're going to put it on the YouTube channel, is as much as ChatGPT gave suggestions, actually 3 out of the 4 restaurants we went to were either suggested by or verified what ChatGPT was saying by a human. The taxi driver on the way to the hotel told me 2 or 3 places to go that ended up coming up on ChatGPT. The receptionist did the same. And what it really taught me was even in the world where we're going now with ChatGPT, talk to speak and all that type of thing, the human connection is still the one that you trust the most. And I think that kind of really sums up what you just said in terms of that connection piece. Is everything else is so readily available to us at our fingertips, connection isn't, and that's the real valuable asset that hotels can really capture. And it's what we've been doing for years, but now more so than ever, it's probably become a lot more important. And again, back to boutique hotels, I think that's where boutique hotels have a real opportunity to have the edge, because they can be a little bit more personal, they can be more authentic, they can be more agile, and all of these things that you've shown can build a great hotel brand.
Yes, I agree. I mean, look, I also use ChatGPT, and I look at technologies and solutions, and I work on a lot of different things online where it's super useful, and I am really pro AI in multiple levels. It's just that the education for another younger generation to understand there is a difference between humanity and AI. Exactly. And there will be a lot of connection points, and there will be blurred lines, and there will be very positive things that are developing in the future for sure, and even in the guest experience or in the hotel. But just to show the new generation of what a hotel, a place, an experience can give them, and have it as an option.
Yeah.
Some people love to just check in without talking to anyone and do everything online on their phone and get to their room. And maybe that's because they are on a business trip, or their preference is this at the moment. So that's totally okay to have it, but have the option.
Absolutely.
Because each person, this goes back again to the human element. Every one of us is different, with or without ChatGPT. So as long as you have the options and you accommodate, then people will feel more at ease and more comfortable.
Fantastic. I think that's a great place to finish. Thank you very much for spending your time. If people want to come and look at the hotel, maybe they're thinking of coming to Dubai, they're young at heart. I love that phrase. Can you tell them where to head to the website address and why? And thank you very much again.
Yes, absolutely. They can go on inkhotel.me. And also we are on the OTAs as well, or directly reach out to me on LinkedIn, happy to arrange it. We would love to see anyone coming from Europe and spend some time with us.
Brilliant. Definitely don't go to the third parties, come direct to the hotel. That's the last message. So Judith, thank you. Honestly, I love some of the posts on LinkedIn, and I've really enjoyed speaking to you and sharing the journey and some of the nuggets of learning to do pre-opening. So thank you very much for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to Hospitality Huddles, brought to you by Auden Hospitality. If you want to revisit clips from this or previous episodes, make sure you visit our YouTube channel at Auden Hospitality. Thank you for listening to the show. See you next time.